Okay, as we're looking at the next set here, we're talking about slope and the rate of change. I think that this is kind of a review section for us, hopefully anyways. Types of slope. We have things that go up that are going to be positive, things that go down that are going to be negative, and we read graphs from left to right, just like we read a book. And then this next one is going to be, this is straight across this way. Oops, should be more straight across. That's going to be a horizontal line. Okay, so this is a zero slope, and it's horizontal. This is the y-axis, x-axis. A horizontal crosses the y-axis. And the next one we know is the vertical, straight up and down. This is going to be a undefined slope, undefined slope, and it's going to be vertical, a vertical line, and crosses the x-axis. So as we look through the next few here, just identifying slope and talking about slope, find it and describe the slope of the graph, of the line from the graph. So this one, you can do it a couple different ways. We can either do the rise over run with the right triangle. So I could go from here up and over and identify how many I went up and then how many I went over. So in this case, I went up 2 and then up 6 more, so up 8. Or then across 4 and then across 2 more, so over 6. So in this case, it would be 8 over 6, which would be 4 over 3. The rise over the run. Now, the other way I could do that is the 2 points, because I actually give you the 2 points. We could label it x1, y1. Oh, can we get a different color? x1, y1, x2, y2. And we could use the formula that we know, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which in essence would give me 6 minus negative 2 over 2 minus negative 4. And I also get the same thing, because that would give me 8, and this is going to give me 6, and then reduces to 3/4. And a third way that we know how to do slope is from a table, like putting it into a table and doing the change. So we could do 2, 6, and negative 4, negative 2. The change here is going to be down 8. The change here is going to be down 6. So negative 8 over negative 6, which gives me 4 over 3. So any of those 3 ways to get slope from a graph. Now example 2, this is a horizontal line. Hopefully you can look straight up above you. It's crossing the y-axis at 1, 2, 3, 4, because the y values are both 4. So this is just going to be a y equals 4. So this is a positive slope. This is going to be a horizontal line, which is 0 slope. Horizontal line. All right. All right. So then I'm looking at example number 3. This is going down, so it's sloping down. It's a negative slope. Go ahead and find it like you did on example 1. Pick one of those 3 ways and try it. And then this one crosses the x-axis. Look at the sample above. And it is a straight up and down, so it is going to be an undefined slope. My x values are the same each time. So this is an x equals 3. Vertical line. And we know it's an undefined slope. We could calculate it, and if we calculated it and did the x minus x, the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, it would be 1 minus 5 over 3 minus 3, which would give me negative 4 over 0, and anything divided by 0 is undefined slope. Or my rise over run, it went up and down, but it didn't go across any, so it'd be divided by 0. So this one, make sure you try on your own. You should end up with a negative 2 as your slope. Concept 2, find the slope of the line that passes through the given points. Describe the slope. So again, on this one, you can either do the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or you can do the table with the change of y and the change of x, knowing that it's the change of y over the change of x. I'll do number 1 with you, and then I'm going to have you finish those others on your own. So this would be an x1, y1, x2, y2. If I did negative 1 minus 2 over 4 minus 5, I'll end up with negative 3 over negative 1, which will give me a positive 3. So it's then describe the slope. So I found the slope, and this is a positive slope. If I did it with the chart, I would do 5, 2, 4, negative 1. My change of y would be down 3 and down 1. So it would be negative 3 over negative 1, which is 3. So try on your own. I will tell you B should end up being a 0, 0 equals m. C should end up with negative 5 halves equals my slope. And D should end up being 1/2 equals my slope. And make sure you give me a description. Then the next ones, I have some decimal ones. So I do want to go through this one just so you guys can double check yourself here. Again, x1, y1, x2, y2. Negative 3 take away 5 over 0.5 take away 4.5. That's going to end up with negative 8 divided by negative 4, so that ends up with positive 2. So make sure you go ahead and give me a description on that. It's positive. And then try the last one on your own. Show me that you know it is going to be an undefined slope. Now, when we talk about rates of change, basically what I'm saying is that it's a change of one, it's a change of one quantity to a change of another quantity. Right, don't know what I just wrote there. Let's try it again. There you go. So the change of one quantity to a change of another quantity. So like a real life application, I would like you to make some examples. I'm going to give you one, but you can't use it. I'm going to say like $20 in 2 hours, which would give me $10 for 1 hour. But the amount depends on number of hours or the time. So I would like you to give me 2 more. So try on your own. give me 2 examples other than the one I gave you. Concept 3, here's a table. In the table, I want you to show the rate of change. So in the table, we always say this is your X or your T, and this is your Y or your cost, input, output. So the change here is going to be up 2, and the change here is up 2. We've talked about this quite often. So the change of X and then the change of Y is up 7 each time. So change of Y over the change of X gives me 7 over 2, and that is my slope. If it asks me to like for the meaning exactly for cost and time, so it's going to end up being $3.5 per hour. The next one, I want you to try this one on your own. Same idea. And then the last 2 that we have on here, I have to explain what's happening. This is a day 1, day 4, day 7, and day 9. So here they sold, and they have the amounts there. Describe the rates of change in respect to time. Well, here's the day of the sale. Day 1, they sold 45. But it looks like it's continuous. So we sold more. We have a leg here, and a leg there. So day 1 through 4, my sales increased. They increased as well from day 4 through day 7. Sales increased, but not quite as drastic as the first part, so but at a slower rate. And then day 7 through 9, sales decreased in number. So that's basically just kind of like looking at each leg of the graph. So look at the next one. The next one, I want you to do the same thing. It's about a ferry trip across the lake. Describe the trip in words. So I want you to try this one on your own. Do give me like the different legs. This is 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then there's 4 different segments. Keep in mind this is time and this is distance, okay? So here they're 0 distance. It's going across the lake. And I want it in words, please. And that's all for this section.